Yo, yo, my peoples, I'm Amy.E, and welcome to the 13th episode of EasyCast.
Light tap because we're holding the mics now.
We're in Lebanon. Beautiful.
Beautiful view. So pretty.
Amazing. Very nice, very nice. Yes, we're doing, I don't know what camera to look at, so I'm just going to look at your beautiful face.
Oh, I appreciate that, you know?
It,
Appreciate the lovely
it,
compliment from
it
such a
took
beautiful
us,
soul himself.
what?
It's called you a beautiful soul. Alright, don't.
Today we're going to talk about Lebanon, talk about the benefits of Lebanon, talk about negatives and not just Lebanon specifically, but like moving out and why it benefit us, the negatives, blah, blah,
Like
blah.
moving out of a Western country sort of thing.
Yeah, kind of like the benefits of that. I've said benefits like 5 times now.
Yeah.
And then we're going to also be talking about
Relationship
relationship
advice,
advice,
friendship advice. Uh, there was one more.
trying like it's how do you know when you truly trust someone
Wow.
if we get to it, but we're mainly gonna try and see what we can hit. All right, why are you looking at me like that?
I'm waiting for you to initiate, man.
All right, so Lebanon, what do you think you benefited from moving to Lebanon, and we'll expand on why after.
Um, it teaches you, I'm guessing, obviously, we'll call it at the time, maybe a second world or third world country at the moment. I don't know.
Yeah,
But it teaches you not like to be grateful for everything. So many things, so many
yeah,
simple things like as an example, electricity.
yeah.
It used to go off all the time here, like unbelievable. Um, yeah, just being grateful is one of the huge things that you learn from being here. Being able to rely on yourself, becoming more
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
independent. Being able to, you know, grateful in a way like how do I say? Like you don't need all these materialistic things in life once you're in a country that doesn't have them.
Yeah.
It teaches you that you don't need them. Like you're better off without them sometimes.
Yeah, I think expanding on the first point, you know, for example, like you were saying, electricity goes off, or at least now, we're in a grateful position where it's not going off as often anymore. But it used to be off like 1 hour or like every now and then it would cut. That's like one thing. There's also, for example, the internet, having such limited internet. Um, when we came back to Australia for the first time in a while, and everyone complains about the internet in Australia that it's not that great. There's no fiber optic cables, blah blah blah. And then when I use the internet, and I'm like, this is Godspeed. This is something
It's
different.
some next level
And
stuff.
and people are complaining, and I'm like, how can you complain for something like that? And the same goes for hot water, right? Like
Yeah,
over here, we have to, flick on the switch, let it heat up. If one person's using the water, no one else can be using the water, otherwise it makes it cold.
yeah.
You want to say something?
No, I was gonna say like it's not even like as much as it doesn't sound that bad. Once it happens, you're like, damn, this is actually quite annoying.
Yeah.
And then there are people that even have it worse than us.
Yeah,
They have to
100%.
go and heat their water by like I was gonna say by hand, but that doesn't make sense. They gotta go boil it themselves, and
Yeah.
so many more things that even in a country like this we can still be grateful for.
Yeah. No, 100%. And like, yeah, with the water, what else is there? I think just there's just a lot of things that we take for granted. I think living in a first world country, in a developed country like Australia, or if you're in America, Germany, UK, wherever, there's a lot of little things that we overlook.
You
You
never
know,
think about it. Yeah.
you never will think about them until you've lost them, and it's a generic saying, but in Lebanon, for example, and a lot of third world countries, what like the small things that we lose, or the small changes, they allow us, they show us that we can be grateful for them.
Yeah, like we can still do without with whatever that was lost.
Yeah,
Like it hasn't realistically what like well when it's gone for just a little bit, you realize that you never needed it in the first place.
it's like, for example, with money, a lot of people think that you need to have all of this to be satisfied, but when you start to learn to be happy and content and live with minimalistic things, when when you have a lot, you're very grateful for it. Whereas most people living in those countries, um, are not necessarily as grateful as they could be. And obviously, we were in the same boat. We did not realize that, leaving that living in Australia, there were so many things that we just take for granted.
When we came here, we were such brats, bro.
Yeah,
It was every small thing. Oh man, this is terrible. I want to go back.
yeah,
This sucks. I don't get this. I don't get that.
yeah,
Like, yeah, it's oh man, it's
yeah.
difficult.
It was, but over time you start to slowly learn, and I think the biggest thing that we learned, when we first started to learn, was when we first came back to Australia. You know,
Yeah,
after we left for about 2 years or 3 years before we first came back, um, and that was like a big eye opener. Another thing is, I would say, like a benefit is a lot of morals and values are still withheld here compared to a lot of other countries. And I'm not talking about, the whole LGBTQ stuff, but at least in terms of respect to parents, um, in terms of just general manners and etiquettes. And I think the biggest thing that people will say is, oh, in Lebanon, they got, there's people that smoke and there's guns and blah, blah, blah.
yeah, yeah,
But the biggest thing is the way to think about it is if you're searching for the negatives, you're gonna find it in front of you, no matter where you are. In Lebanon, it feels like, or it felt like, we have an expanded amount of, you know, good options in front of us. And if you're just if you're looking at the negatives, then you're missing out on the whole view of positives that you have around you that you can use for you, to your advantage. In Australia, it's a bit different. You know, you have a lot of negatives around you, a lot of, alcohol's calling to you, the party in the clubs, that whole like negative life is just reaching out to you. Whereas here it's like, whereas this the like the what we would say is halal, which means like what is good in Islam, or just the general good, is very hard to find. You have to reach out towards it. You know, I said that on, I think, first episode or something.
probably,
Yeah,
probably. It's a point that we're gonna make over and over again. Like we're gonna have to explain that
yeah,
so then people understand.
yeah.
But on a point you were making before about,
Mhm,
not needing everything to be happy,
mhm.
was like, for example, here, I know a million people here that, I know their conditions, their life conditions at the moment. They're not, they're not in the best conditions.
Yeah,
They don't have the most money. But are they happier than a lot of people I know that are outside the country?
yeah,
Way happier. They're way happier because, they learned that not like all the stuff that make you happy don't have to be materialistic. They don't have to
yeah,
be, or in general, that sort of stuff. Like they're just content
yeah.
and they find happiness in things that, don't cost so much or don't, I don't know how to explain it like that. You know what I mean?
No, I get what you're saying. Like, in when you see so much like the opportunity of money in front of you, it's hard for people not to not chase it. You know, everyone's trying to go for it, go for it, go for it. They don't realize, like, there are people, for example, in this country, in these types of countries, that are just seeking for like a hundredth of like what you're chasing for, and with that, they're able to be satisfied for the whole year, or like just
For
satisfied
a
in
long
general.
time,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're content. But in Australia and a lot of other countries like that, it's hard for people to realize that. And I think, instead of just, saying, oh, first world country, bad, 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 you know, that's when you should try to like reflect upon yourself and try to try to see the benefits and what you're taking advantage of right now. You know, I'm not going to just say all these things and then make you feel bad about it. No, that's not my point. My
Yeah.
point is trying to, yeah,
I was gonna say, like, we're not, obviously we're not telling you that if you're feeling down because you're not getting as much, we're not telling you not to make money.
yeah, yeah,
We're not telling you not to chase those sort of things.
yeah,
You gotta chase it. That's life. You have to.
yeah,
We're also not telling you that if you're feeling down because you're not making as much, we're not saying that just because other people aren't making as much
yeah,
as you, you shouldn't feel sad. It's
yeah,
like saying, this person's happier than you shouldn't feel happy.
yeah,
It's the exact same, just a
yeah,
different spectrum, right?
yeah,
So it's like just like it's not the best example to give you saying like, oh, these people have it worse than you.
yeah,
Like that's not what we're trying to say. We're trying to say
yeah,
that
yeah, no,
you still gotta see, you gotta find with what you have the happiness.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Ah, quoting up.
You know, yeah. He's
Yeah, no, you said it pretty much perfectly put.
Oh, bro, I've been for like the past 2 minutes. I was trying to remember what I had in my mind to
Yeah.
think about and say the most perfect way possible.
Now you
Yeah.
can't think anymore.
Now I can't think. I use all my brain cells.
Yeah, sorry if there's any wind being captured and stuff like that. We're currently, as I said on the previous episode, we're on like a travel journey.
Oh yeah, I never mentioned I'm back. After what? Is it 4
Or
episodes?
2 episodes.
2?
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah,
About
yeah.
2 episodes. I am back. I'm back,
Wow, it
and
took a while, man.
yeah, because I was here. I was here the whole time. Then he joined me,
Yeah.
and now we're recording again. Been
Yeah,
recording again
so
for a
hopefully
while.
soon. Also, in Japan, there's gonna be some content there.
It's gonna be so sick.
And we're gonna be doing something like a vlog cast. I'm calling it. It's gonna cringy, but it's kind of.
It sounds
Yeah.
good. I ain't giving. I
I
ain't
think it's
care,
cool.
bro.
It's like we're gonna be going through the different streets and the different areas whilst we're talking about it, and it'll be kind of like a vlog and a podcast at the same time. So.
That's where the name comes from. Relationships and friendship advice.
I think we can touch a bit more on Lebanon.
Yeah, there's a lot to speak about. The crisis.
Oh yeah, there is a current money crisis at the moment.
Everyone knows about it. Like it's not like news or anything to like talk about. Like it's. Did you
Yeah.
know about the money crisis going on in Lebanon? No, it's just known at this point. Everyone's being paid nothing.
Yeah,
The government's in the bin.
yeah,
And everyone's living off of basically like the country's strong enough to still be surviving now even without a government.
yeah.
Like that's how you know that the
Well, that's
country
what
has
people are
hope.
doing,
Yeah.
yeah.
And a lot of money is coming from the outside.
Yeah.
So it's like it's good that there are people that still are bringing in money to the country.
Yeah.
And people do have money here. The thing is they have money, but they just can't get it from the banks.
It's locked in
Everything's
the bank.
frozen. All frozen.
That's why some people. I don't know if you've seen the woman who
Robbed the bank?
robbed the bank for her own money. They
Yeah.
did a documentary on her.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
Vice did.
The
Huh?
fake pistol apparently.
Yeah, fake pistol.
Fake
yeah.
pistol.
That's what my dad said.
They
fake
got
pistol.
robbed, bro. No way.
Yeah.
With a fake pistol.
But I think it was more than just her. It was multiple people started doing that because they were locking they were locking their money because the banks were gonna lose.
So the bank sent the money to another country while the whole problem was happening here. So the money's being held somewhere else.
Is that what?
Yeah, I'm 99% sure.
Damn.
But yeah. Is that correct? Amy gave it the heads up.
Yeah,
Amy
we
gave
have
heads
we have a new person on the cams here in Lebanon.
Yeah,
His name's Eamon.
He'll be on the next episode, inshallah.
Hopefully, yeah. Make sure you change your camera angles, yeah. Good
He
boy.
just changed it for the first time in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
No.
How many minutes are we at?
A good solid 5 minutes, huh? Doesn't even matter, but we're gonna keep going.
Right, bottom.
12? Damn, bro, we're talking it. Bro. We're just chatting
Too
it up.
talkative.
We're just chatting it
One
out.
of the benefits of Lebanon helped us talk.
It actually did.
Yeah.
You know, Lebanon gave me 100 times more confidence than I would have had in Australia.
Oh yeah.
100 times. Wallah, I came to Lebanon, and what it did for me at least, is it
Yeah.
destroyed my confidence,
Yeah.
and then it forced me to build it back up
It's like
myself.
God gym for the muscles, break down the muscles and then you rebuild
Exactly,
it again.
100%. That great analogy there. So yeah, like I came here, and when I first went to the school,
Yeah.
it was scary, man.
know.
Because like the idea of like I just had moved to high school. For
What
us,
was your first year?
no, like before
Yeah,
I left to Lebanon. So
Yeah.
for Australians, high schools it starts at year 7,
Yeah.
right? So I just started high school, which was a new school for me. So I already had to go through that whole changing schools thing and meeting new people. Luckily, I had you there and you knew people, so it was all chill. And then I had to do it all over again. No, wrong school, wrong school. And then I had to do it all over again in a completely different country,
Yeah.
of talking a completely different language. Like, bro, the feeling when you're trying to communicate and all you do is get clowned for not being able to speak correctly.
It still happens.
It still happens. I mean, I do it to you now.
Yeah, I know. We do it to each other.
Yeah. But like,
It used to be way
it
worse.
destroys a person, bro.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes like they feel like it's being jokey, but then that's
Yeah.
all they do, and it
It's
really.
literally like bullying. It's what
It technically, yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
So it was hard, very
Yeah.
very hard. The first 3-4 years, it wasn't till maybe about year 11, mainly year 12,
Yeah.
that I really
Right.
started, like grasping onto myself
Yeah.
and being able to hold myself up.
Yeah.
And alhamdulillah, now I'm doing very
Alhamdulillah.
swimmingly and smoothly. You know what I mean?
Ooh, look at that.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely come in like, let's start speaking Arabic. Like,
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
we're in Lebanon, bro. You allow it.
When I first moved, I think the hardest thing was like leaving a whole, life behind you.
Exactly.
But at the same time, it was a good thing. I definitely wanted a new change because I was in my cringe era. A lot of people that know me from back then, I was posting like those quotes, and you'll find them. They're so bad, so bad. Like,
Seeing your old Snapchat stories, it's just a photo with a filter, bro. There's a photo of him with like a filter, and there's like 3 different photos of him, and it's like, which one's your favorite on his story, or which one do you think looks good? It was the funniest thing.
I went through that, so you don't have to.
Yeah, no. He actually, you walked so I could run. Yeah, the
I
musicallys,
did
all of
musically too.
that.
It's out there. A lot of people know about it. You'll find it.
You'll
Yeah.
find it eventually, man. Like,
Yeah.
we can't hide it, bro. It was so funny, bro. Like, going back on that, it's like such a funny thing. Like, I'm kind of glad it happened in a way,
Yeah.
because now we have something to,
You can
joke
look back
about.
on it. Yeah.
You can what?
Look. I said it in a very weird. I said you can look back on it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I have a lisp.
Yeah, I actually do have a lisp, because my jaw's kind of pushed forward.
I have like I don't say my S's properly, and like I say like I don't know whatever it is. I have like some sort of weird lisp, but it's not that bad, so it's good.
Nah. I have a lisp sometimes. Sometimes. Like, sometimes I just, like, really mess up words. Or I skip letters when I'm speaking. You might notice it. Do you guys notice? Do you guys know? Look what... He's showing us an old musically of had you, bro. It's so bad.
Yeah. Anyway, touching on that topic again. Yeah, I think coming to Lebanon helped. Rid of that life. Change something new, but it didn't for the first year. I'd say like for the first year, it was still like lingering. I was still like attached to the old, school style, lifestyle in Australia. The biggest thing was in Australia, it was very it was so cringy. Like it was just trying
Yeah,
to
yeah.
chase girls and whatever. I was in an all boys high school. Yeah, sorry, cameras are gonna be cutting in and out. But I was saying I was in a all boys high school, and so it made like there was a girl side too. So it made like trying to see the girl side like
Bro,
it was like a treasure chest. You haven't seen any girls in 3 years. Oh, I want to see a
they're all
girl.
so like such
Yeah.
like they're all horny as
This
hell,
is the
bro.
mic will be back.
What, the mic?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, sorry, man.
yeah,
But they're all like just so like desperate and
yeah.
thirsty,
I
and
know.
like I remember seeing like the stories and all that of them, and it's so bad, man.
It was
But
like it. Oh, sorry.
no, yeah, you're gone.
I was saying because of that, like the friends around me made it really heavily like, oh my God, I need to talk to girls. Or because they were talking to girls, so I'm like, I'm gonna
Yeah,
talk
I
to
gotta do it
girls.
now. You get influenced,
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously, like we've
Speak.
said a million times, bro. It's the friends around you that
Yeah.
that change you and make you do what you do. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And yeah, because of that, it like, put me onto a little bit of a path of trying to talk to girls and being friends with girls and um it wasn't healthy, and then that's why coming to Lebanon definitely helped with that. Although my school was mixed, it did help a little bit in terms of it helped in terms of not really like trying to chase girls like that and it making it that cringe side of things like this guy has a boyfriend girlfriend and
Just broke the ice on all of that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah. It kind of just like settled it, and I just overlooked it, and I went to like, thought of thinking of different things, right? Um, so yeah, coming to Lebanon was allowed me to get past that little bit of that lifestyle and start something new. And because of the opportunities that there was around me, I was able to actually chase the better stuff again. If it wasn't for me being here, and I think I'd say 100% say the same for you. If it wasn't for being in this country, I'm about to say something
Bro
nice.
said 100% same for you.
No, but in a good way.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say. I thought you were going on like, if we didn't come here, you would 100% turned out bad.
Move it back.
Bro, it's not that loud, bro.
I just checked the audio. That's why it was going like it was high and it was
Alright,
capping.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I was saying 100%. Being in this country allowed us to, to just see it. As I explained in the other podcast, getting out of that bubble, you see the bubble, you fix yourself, and then you put yourself back in.
You go to the right
Yeah.
spot in the bubble.
Whoa.
Oh my god.
And on the topic of like girls and speaking with them and that type of, relationship, boyfriend, blah, blah, blah.
Let's talk about relationships. Yeah.
That was a good segue.
Yeah, we're segue.
Anyway, so in that topic, I get a lot of questions, about, is it right to have a girlfriend at that age, high school, talking to girls, and I'm approaching I try to approach these questions in a non-religious aspect as well because
so it applies to everyone.
yeah, because applies to everyone regardless of whether your religion says you should or shouldn't, or your own personal morals. I'm just saying in general, like the negatives outweigh the positives. There is always going to be some sort of connection or attraction or whatever on one end eventually between a male and female friend. There is always an open opportunity for something promiscuous or something negative to occur because of that. There's a lot of people that have like they might be in a relationship and then they end up having like like the male might have a female friend, and then because of that, the female gets jealous, like the girlfriend gets jealous of the girl, the
And then they
friend.
cause each other problems,
And
and then they fight, and then it's just cringe, and
yeah,
it's all that sort of stuff.
so like for example, in Islam, right, these morals are taught because God tries to stop all these problems at its root, at its core. It doesn't want, like, maybe there's one or two, maybe there's some people that have friends that are platonic, that are, you know, and there's not going to be anything from it. But for the general mass of people, the rule for us is to, not follow through with something like that because other people won't know that boundary, right? Um, so in high school, obviously, or in university or wherever you're at, it's normal that we're gonna have to need to interact and like you can't do
You're gonna have
anything
to
about it.
mingle with them. Like
Yeah,
it's just you
workplace.
have to.
And I'm not saying don't, but I'm saying don't make it more of like a more friends kind of thing. And
Don't make it something you go out of your way to do. Only
yeah,
do it when you have to.
yeah, exactly. Well,
But I'm on a
okay,
roll today. I
I'll
don't
top
care.
it
I'm not making you
off.
depressed. I'm just being real.
So that's why you'll find at that age, or like let's go to high school for a second. We're not ready at that point in time to focus on a relationship. We're still focusing on ourselves. We're still not developed. We're still, working on ourselves. It only stops you from developing further by putting all your focus on a whole different person now.
You're just chasing fake, like a fake life, a fake feeling,
Fake dream.
yeah, a fake dream. Like
Yeah.
obviously, like what's pushed to you online and
Yeah.
what you see all over social media, movies. Like as a kid, just say forget social media. When
Yeah.
we're younger, as children,
Yeah.
every movie's about that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
everything's about it. That's all you think of. It's all you're taught growing up,
Yeah.
right? So then you just chase it. You chase it. You chase it. I know so many people. You know people
Yeah.
that chase that life
Yeah.
and then end up nowhere.
Yeah.
I know people that chase that life multiple times, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, and they just end up in the same problems and end up in the same position, and they'll go do it again, and they'll get the same feeling just so then they
Yeah.
can feel just that sensation
That's
that only lasts for a little bit.
Yeah. Like with high school relationships, how like really honestly you'll be able to think of maybe like one person that came out of high school with the same relationship with the same first relationship they had. No
Yeah.
one. No relationship lasts. It's like it's childish. It's always like a 4 month, 3 month thing, and then they're like over each other and heartbroken. The whole reason that we need to prevent this sort of thing is so that your heart's not being used. You're draining yourself to this fake love and this fake emotion and or this at least premature emotion that when it comes to the real thing, when you're actually mature and you're trying to look for a spouse or you're trying to look for someone to get married and someone to be a proper wife, and for you to be a proper husband, you've already expiated all of that energy
Yeah.
on other people and other experiences.
And if they do you bad, you're just scarred. You've hurt yourself, you know?
Yeah, and then they like people say, oh, it's a learning experience, but that's not how it works. You've just caused damage to yourself. That's not a learning experience. There's something called preventing and going through with it the hard way,
Yeah.
right? We don't need to go through it the hard way all the time. Like you don't need to drink alcohol to find its negatives. You can know about it and not go through with it. And I think that's when I said in the last episode that working hard at being smart or working hard at working smart is key to succeeding. You don't have to be the physical worker. Maybe that's you. That's whatever. But being smart about it, preventing these negative outcomes, you can prevent them. You're being smarter about it. And so in high school relationships and that era, what you're doing is you're pretty much putting all your focus on someone else when you yourself are at like 50% of maturity or like development. You still have so much time to learn, to increase your knowledge, to gain the life experience. But when you're putting all that effort into someone else, you're forgetting about yourself, and then it causes like premature problems, immature problems. And now, like from myself and from yourself, we can definitely say skipping past these relationships and skipping past all these like scenarios because we've prevented these things. When we can see other people that haven't prevented these things, and we look at them, and obviously not in like bruh in pitfulness,
Yeah,
but
not in
pitifulness.
pity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you can definitely learn and see, okay, I'm glad I did it this way because now they're having these premature problems that I prevented. Now if you're going to go for someone, I'm going for someone when I'm ready. I'm mature. I'm developed, and I'm ready to actually find someone. I'm a somewhat financially stable. You know, like I got a good job, a good enough job. It doesn't have to be like I have to have 100,000, $1 million.
That's a preference though, because I know a lot of people that want to get married later when they have more money. That's just their
Yeah,
preference. That like on what you're talking
I
about,
guess so.
that's a preference. I
Mm.
can't say it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like
No, 100%
yeah, he was
find
saying you'll
yourself.
find yourself before you find someone else because you can't
Yeah.
hear him.
Like definitely find yourself before you find someone else. Financial stuff, like I guess don't leave it too late, but like don't let it be something too late. Obviously, you want the other person to have a comfortable life too, but at the same time, when someone is with you from the beginning, like when you guys are like working hard to get that bit of money, when you start to gain that money, you both learn the value of that money that you have now earned. And instead of just someone coming into your life when you're a millionaire, you know, they compared to someone that has been this at the beginning, the person that came in as a millionaire, they're not going to know the value of it as much as the person
Yeah, they
before.
won't know the value of the relationship. Now, obviously, that's
Yeah,
not 100% true all the
yeah.
time. You know, but it is definitely
This is
there,
generically
and it's
speaking. I'm
yeah,
just
generally
saying,
speaking, and
like,
it may not be a majority, but it's a
yeah,
high minority.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I was gonna say something before. When I remember, I'll let you know. I literally I've been waiting to say it, and then I forgot right as you spoke.
Well, I was gonna say for these types of religion.
I remember.
Okay,
Sorry,
go,
I
go,
remember.
go.
I was gonna say all these people, like
Yeah,
just us, right?
yeah.
All these people that are having relationship problems. Who do they come to?
People that don't have relationship
The people that have relationship problems because they're not in a relationship
at that age, like in a
at that age.
premature
Yeah,
relationship.
yeah. Like for you,
Mm.
do people come to you for relationship advice?
Yeah,
Do people come to me for relationship advice? Even though we're not in relationships, we
yeah,
haven't been in a relationship. It's like when they say, "Oh, you got to talk to someone who catches a fish how to catch a fish."
yeah,
Or
yeah,
like not you don't talk to the
yeah,
fish. Yeah, the coach doesn't play.
yeah, yeah,
But it's just an example as to who they're actually talking to,
yeah.
when they need help.
Exactly. No, 100%. So I think that's why for relationships at that point, um, if people are in relationships, I think you're given like side eyes to look
No,
at the.
sorry, he was trying to tell me something, I wasn't sure. Am I too close? Oh,
Yeah, I
really?
was
I
telling you
thought
you're
I
too
thought that was I
close.
thought I was too far. My
No.
bad. Okay.
Um, that's like with relationships. If people are in relationships at the moment, at that age, my advice for something like that is come to a mutual agreement between each other. You know, try to, uh, set yourself like limits. And I'm not gonna say break up or whatever, but at least you should try to come to an agreement where you both distance each other for a bit and not be in that like mutual relationship like that until you've both worked on each other. What you do is you focus on yourself. You can stay updated, understand like what they're working on, what you're working on, and where your progress level of development is at, and you work on yourself in that way, become the best version of yourself, and then if the other person is in the right mind too at that point, then you can, get back together again, see how it works out. Because at that point you're serious about it. You've gone past all the other life things that you have to deal with first. Everyone's got school, everyone's got these things that you need to deal with before you go to that. And that's why you might not like you might see that when you're mature, that the person that you've become after working on yourself is more different, more better than the other person. The other person might not have reached that maturity level or
That's
might
what I was
not.
gonna say.
Yeah,
Like you'll see when you're at that level, then you're able to look down on them and say you're able to judge from
yeah,
a mature mind
yeah,
if they're ready.
yeah.
That's why I was talking to a friend. I'm like, you got to put yourself away from that relationship. You got to
Mm,
fix yourself because both of you guys need fixing.
yeah,
You need to take yourself out of
yeah,
the problem,
yeah,
fix yourself, come back
yeah,
in, see if they fix themselves.
yeah,
Right? If they're there, then you know that
mm,
sorry, you know that they're ready to you're ready to fix it up, make
yeah,
it better again. If not, then it's as hard as it may be, you just gotta drop it.
yeah,
You gotta do what you gotta do. Unless they're ready to fix themselves, you gotta do it.
yeah. Otherwise, it's your loss. You're gonna keep like pushing someone and trying to get them to become better and better, and they're never gonna want to. So yeah, it's not worth it. So my advice for something like that is to distance yourself, work on being more mature, and find out what happens, in the end, like where you reach. Yeah, sorry, we're gonna have a lot of problems now with the like brightness and stuff like that, but whatever.
Sun's coming down, so
Yeah, yeah, we're trying our best to do what we can without a set, but here it is. It's fine. Were you talking?
I don't remember.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, the best thing you can do is focus on yourself, distance yourself from each other, and come to an agreement, a mutual agreement, and say, you know what, I want to be the best version of myself. You work to be the best version of yourself. You might find that when you're the best version of yourself and you're mature, the other person has not come to that level yet. So you might look for someone that's even better. That's someone that's up to your now new standards, your better standards that you had before. You've now focused on everything that you have to do and you've finished that. You've tackled everything you need to do. Now, in Islam, for example, the best way to approach a woman and it's not necessarily like it's not necessarily like a dating kind of thing. It the way it works is we approach the father first, and now we have to obviously when we find someone, it's going to be hard. It works in different ways, right? To find a girl or a man, you might want to like usually maybe through uni or maybe through family, like you tell family that you're looking to get married and they might like hook you up with someone or not hook up as in kiss, but you know, like they might connect you with someone. um, and so you end up going to the father, and the reason why is because the father is a man. He knows what a man's like, right? The man, if you're serious about it, then that means you going to the father means you're ready, like
Yeah,
you're
they'll
serious.
pick it out, even if you're not serious. If
Yeah,
you go into the father, they'll notice because first of all, they're married,
yeah,
they've had children, they've been through all of life's
yeah,
problems, so they'll know what they want to see when
yeah.
when this person comes up and asks for their daughter's hand.
And when it like usually guys like it stops the problem at its core. That's what I said, like in Islam, God stops the problems at its core. So it works for everyone. Guys usually they're gonna fall into this lifestyle of trying to get with a girl, or they might like I'm not saying groom a girl, but like kind of I don't mean it like that. I kind of mean it like manipulate them to kind of go to their needs and and get down with them or whatever. So that whole process stops that from happening. So you approach the father and you let him know that you're interested in this person, and then when that happens, you now organize like times where you can meet up with a person that's either like the woman's father, brother, uncle, grandfather, that's in the same area or vicinity, just monitoring. It doesn't have to be like
You don't have to be
in
right
their
next to them,
face.
staring them down, giving them their time, giving them their space to
Yeah,
get to know each other without feeling oppressed,
and being in
but
the
being
area.
safe. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
keeping them safe.
yeah,
Keeping it, a safe distance
yeah.
relationship, probably properly doing it.
Yeah, because you don't know like what the other person might be thinking or
The
what
boy
might do.
or the girl
Yeah,
does not matter. Everyone could have
yeah,
ill intentions that they don't show until they're alone,
yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, and yeah, I guess that's why approaching it that correct way is the best method, because otherwise you're gonna fall into a habit of negative things, and you're gonna fall into a habit of sleeping with girls and blah blah blah, and just it's just not gonna work out
A
because then
fake life, basically.
yeah, because it's just following your desire until you come to the real reality of okay, I need to settle, right?
As a good example is a man. He's a revert.
Yeah,
I know him personally.
yeah,
He explained his story of how he became a Muslim. A
yeah,
revert is when a guy who wasn't Muslim became a Muslim.
yeah. And
They
we
reverted
call
to
them we
Islam.
call them reverts because
Yeah.
we believe that when they're born, they're originally Muslim, and then they change as they grow up if their parents taught them something different. That's why it's called revert, not
I
convert.
actually didn't know that.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Sorry. All right. Well, thank you for the knowledge. Thank you for the knowledge. He was talking about his life before becoming Muslim
Hmm.
was partying, women every day, every weekend,
Yeah,
every chance he got was always doing things with people that he shouldn't be doing, right?
yeah,
And he was kind of like taught in his
mm,
mind. He was convincing himself. It's like gaslighting himself into
yeah,
believing that that's fun and that's life.
yeah,
That's what there is to life.
yeah,
That's where you want to be.
yeah,
And then slowly he started to realize how empty the life is of that. Like
yeah,
just how dead it is, how much you don't gain, how much you're missing out on realistically,
yeah,
right? So he started searching and he saw that he was Christian, but like
yeah,
not a
yeah,
what do you call it, like praying Christian or
yeah.
yeah, preaching Christian. And then he goes, oh well, Islam's got Jesus too. Might as well just switch to that. So he went to Islam, and then he didn't know anything though. So he would
Yeah,
drink, eat pork, and all that. And then he got into a relationship with a Turkish woman,
yeah,
and her family would drink and all this, even though
yeah,
they were quote unquote Muslim.
yeah,
And then yeah, and then after like a few years, he actually went to the masjid that we go to,
yeah,
and he spoke to the sheikh, and the sheikh explained everything to him, and he couldn't believe it, and he was like, and then recently he's just become like a very very good Muslim, and
Yeah.
he's seen like not saying like everyone won't see the truth in life if they're not Muslim,
Yeah.
but he's found
Yeah,
like he's found his
truth,
peace in life.
yeah.
Yeah, he's found his truth in life after becoming Muslim.
That's why, and a lot of the things that I don't know what that beep was. A lot of the things that I portray, or my advice, a lot of it derives from Islam. Like, my reasoning hasn't happened just like that. You know, because I've been following the right teachings of Islam and the way of life in that way. I've been able to learn why it's like that, why we distance ourselves from, having relationships like that, why we don't drink alcohol, why we don't, why we do pray 5 times a day. What's the point of this relationship with God, and what it develops, and how we become content through it, and how it can solve our problems. All these things come because of all the things I've now understood because I followed it the right way through Islam. And I prevented the problems that it teaches about. Talks the whole thing that we've been talking about now is all preachings or all teachings of Islam, and in general it gives you a moral standpoint. And that's why, when I talk about religion, um that's why Islam, I think, is extremely important, because it gives the best moral standpoints for general life. It has every ruling, everything that you need to know, um, for everything that happens in life.
I was just thinking about it. I noticed a lot of people, a
One
lot
second,
of
it's
people.
quite dark.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. Eamon, turn the light on. Yeah, sorry.
The sun's coming down. There's not much you can do. If it was
Yeah.
out, then the sun would have been directly on the camera and everything. The lighting would have been bad.
Next episode we'll fix it up a bit.
Into something better.
Yeah.
But the point I was making is a lot of the people, a lot of the time,
Yeah.
when they know that, like when they see people like us who
Mm.
haven't done these sort of stuff with women and this
Yeah.
and that, or girls who's that we haven't done stuff, same thing, right? They'll come and they'll look at you and be like, "You're missing out.
Yeah.
You're missing out. You know, you haven't done this yet. Oh, you're missing out. Oh, you're a bit of a loser. You know, you haven't done that." Dude, they're jealous of our purity.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. They wish that they were like that they were who they were before they did it.
Yeah.
And I've spoken to people. They told me, "I wish I never did. I wish I was in your position. Still haven't done it. I wish I was smart enough not to do that at the time." It just shows,
They will
that
come to realize.
everyone comes to realize.
When it really comes down to it, when it's really necessary, and when you're ready to be fully set and mature, you'll realize that everything you did in the past, those things are going to affect you. So my advice, to end this episode off, because we're having so many lighting problems and everything, and we'll continue the topics that we mentioned in the beginning in next episode or whatever we do. My advice is just realize the problems that you're having at the moment, and try to. What's Eamon saying now? Start.
wrapping it up. The camera angle is dead.
Alright, yeah, alright.
we
This
just
is
use
it.
this one. Just use this one.
Okay,
It's
this
fine.
one's about it. Alright,
It's fine. Yeah.
alright. My advice to you guys is realize the problems you have, write them down, and realize if you want to become mature, if you want to become mature and you want to become ready and you want to settle, realize that these negative things that you might be facing that we've mentioned in this video,
And everything's going wrong.
that we mentioned in this video, you should try to limit them, and hopefully you've opened your mind about the negatives and stuff and all that stuff.
Oh, that's fine.
All right,
I was
yeah,
gonna
so
say one last thing.
quickly.
What was I gonna say? What was I gonna say?
Just make sure you subscribe in case we don't make it. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment. EasyCast on TikTok, Instagram. EasyCast with 2 T's, by the way, on TikTok and Instagram. And we're going to be posting lots of clips. And me, Ainsley, on Instagram and his Shmogzz account. Yeah.
Shmogzz on Instagram.
Link
Double
in
Z.
description. Link in description.
All right. I forgot what I'm gonna say, so you guys are never gonna know. See you guys in the next one
All right. Thank you. Wait. And we'll see you guys on another episode
of EasyCast.
EasyCast. Yeah.